And the section is actually called New Value of Block Postworks for Title Splitting Purposes. So if you bought at the reduced negotiated value, which I did at 2.1, I add the cost that I would spend, and I get to the total spend of 2.5. Each flat, now this part is, and I've put it in there so people remember, each flat is revalued at, or was revalued at £130,000 each. Now remember, I negotiated my entry price to be 91, if I remember right. 91,800. And on exit, they valued up at 130,000. So straight away, I could see that I was going to make £38,000 worth of uplift of each of the value. Taken out, obviously, then I have to take out the cost. But there was a margin of 38,000 per unit times 23. So how do I get to that valuation? It's all the stuff that I've taught you already, that you can see here. Data, local knowledge, Rightmove, Zoopla. You get a triangulation of this price. And you are not going to be that far off when you've triangulated on all of these resources. That then gave me...
So, just on that,
please.
The value of a property. Because when I looked on property data, it's varied quite a lot. Some were like 90, some were 200.
Yeah.
So when you're doing these calcs,
yeah,
are you using your judgment in terms of, because you know how it's going to look at the end of it, or are you taking the data from those and just thinking, well, this is what mine is going to look like, so that's the one that I should go for? Because some of them are like spec'd out amazingly, aren't they? Some aren't.
Yeah.
Which one do you...
So it's a composite of everything you've just said here. So how I'll do it now, I'll go, okay, I'm looking at this thing. I know what the entry price is in the condition that's a below market condition. So on property data, for example, it allows you to choose average condition, below average condition, high condition of once you've finished it. And I tend to, and again, there is no exact science here. It's about skill, it's about knowing the market, but it's also about using those tools. So what I do is I look at the below average or average on entry as a marker of, to say it was 91,000. Then I look at, well, I know the kind of finish I'm going to go for roughly, and I don't do Buckingham Palace standard, by the way, but I'll still be at the end at a £130,000 worth of condition. So then I put a high condition on property data as my exit condition. 1. 2, I make sure that when I'm comparing my flat to other flats. So this morning I just did one. I'm doing 6 flats that we are now at refinancing stage, and there are 6 2-bedroom flats. They are humongous, 78 to 80 square meters each. Now, when I'm looking at comparative, I can't look at a flat that's worth 150 grand, but it's only got 40 square meters. These are going to be £240,000. And I need to make sure that when I'm looking at the comparables, A, the conditions are right thing. It's within half a mile radius of where I am. The sizes are also fairly equivalent. And that's how you get to your valuation. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So then here I then say, okay, well, it is a case of total spend. I spent 2.5. The revaluation was at that time 2.99, so call it 3. The new value creation after purchase was just under £500,000. And that to me is the key number here, because it could be 100 grand, it could be 500 grand. It's just to make sure that we can actually get enough uplift in value so that we can recycle our cash out. Okay?
And that's where that 25% figure that you mentioned comes from, to recycle your money out.
Correct. And then the next section now will show you this. So, oh, by the way, the vendor finance, don't worry about that. I've taken that out when you see it on your Excel, because it doesn't work in our area. Nobody's going to give you their house for free, or let alone the block of flats for silly money. So, and this is the bit that hopefully will bring it all together. So then we look at, well, so what's the buy and hold strategy, and what are we going to achieve?